Hello everyone, this is Joe Tortonesi coming to you. Welcome to Joe's Drum Shop, where I teach you about this magnificent drum set. And we're learning quite a bit right now. We've been, for the past few months, and we've been getting into this book called The Fast Track. Right now we are in Drums 2, and we're going to get a little bit farther in it today. We're on Chapter 3, and it's on page 12. And we're going to be talking about shuffles. And we're going to kind of shuffle down the road as we speak. Basically what the shuffle is a group of three. Okay, when we do a shuffle pattern, normally if we're playing a regular pattern, say we're playing a regular rock beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, normally that is a straight pattern. When we do a shuffle pattern, basically the shuffle pattern is in groups of three. So I'll start off, actually the very first exercise, like I said, it's called Shuffle Down the Road. I'm going to play it just on the snare drum just so you get an idea what it sounds like. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now I'll play that again. I'm going to count all the triplets this time. I just counted the actual numbers and the because that's where I'm hitting on the snare drum. I could actually play it like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. But we need that and taken out. So every time I say the word and, when I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, I need that and taken out. So we create this rhythm called the shuffle. That's where it came from. So I'm going to play it again. I'll count with the number and the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Notice how I didn't hit any ands. I just hit the number and the okay? Now that's in 4/4 time. So 4/4 time basically is the top number of 4/4. The top number means that there's 4 beats in a measure. The bottom number tells us what kind of note is going to get one count. And what kind of count is it, or what kind of note? It's going to be a quarter note. So we're saying 4 quarter notes in every measure. So that's why when we count triplets, we count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay? I like counting 1 and 2 and 3 and because it's easier. On the last episode that we talked about, I talked to different ways of saying triplet. Some guys say 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Whatever's comfortable for you to say. I just find that 1 and 2 and, I've been doing it for 40 years. I just feel comfortable saying 1 triplet or 1 and 2 and instead of 1 triplet. So let's talk about the triplet again. This time we're going to talk about 12/8 time. Now 12/8 time means there's 12 beats in the measure, but an 8th note is going to get 1 count. So the 8th note we're talking about. So when we talk about 4/4, we're talking 4 quarter notes. But this next measure here, it's 12/8, we're talking about 12 eighth notes per measure. So again, we're still going to play it the same way, but I'm going to count it a little differently, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That's the 4/4 way. I'm going to play the 12/8 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. And again, let's play that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Okay, as you can see, 12/8, 4/4 time, even though they're a different time signature, the way I'm playing it is the same way. It just depends on how you count it. All right, the next example they have below that one is they're showing you 12/8, which is I kind of just showed you, but instead of 8th note triplets, they do quarter note with an 8th note. So that's going to sound like this. Again, it's the same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and or count it 12/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The next measure right next door to it, they make it into 4/4. And again, they keep the same notes, but they put it in a triplet form. Whereas in the first measure of that 12/8, they put it like a quarter note, an eighth note, quarter note, eighth note, all the way through. So it gives it that still that feel of 1 and a 2 and a 3 and so on. So I'm going to play that one again. Even though it sounds the same, I'll count it with the triplet. Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. All right, pretty much that's the way that counts. Now, below that it says it's all in the feel. And basically what happens in music, if a person is writing out the drum part, there's an abbreviated or an easier way to write it so that they don't have to write triplet after triplet, which takes a lot of time. If you're in a kind of a hurry and you're trying to write out the drum part to a song, or you're doing a triplet kind of a shuffle pattern, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll put in parentheses, they'll put a little eighth note which equals a triplet. So that way regular eighth notes, even though it looks like regular eighth notes, and as you see on the screen here, I'm going to be putting that up on the screen, it'll show regular eighth notes, but it'll be in triplet form. So it still plays the same way. And the measure right next to that one is going to be a dotted eighth note with a 16th note. And again, that's still on the number and the However, with 16th notes, we deal with 4s instead of 3s like triplets do. So when we deal with 16ths, we deal with 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Okay? So you can see that the 1 and the when we count 16ths and the 1 and the when we count triplets are very close. They're slightly off a little bit, but they're pretty close. All right, let's get on to page 13. This is called Accentuate the Positive. The first one's called the Basic Shuffle. Now, how this is starting off, we're going to put it on the hi-hat. We're going to get that rhythm going that I started. Remember when we did the snare drum, I played 1 and a 2. So we went 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. I'm going to do that on the hi-hat, but just with one stick. It's going to sound like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Again, we're in 4 times, so we're still counting the triplet. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Okay? Now the snare drum, because it's a rock beat, we're going to do a shuffle rock beat. The snare drum will be on 2 and 4 like it does on a regular rock beat. So let's play the regular rock beat one more time just for the heck of it. It's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Here's the shuffle. The bass drum is going to be on all 4. So we're going to do a bass drum going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to add the snare drum on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to play the triplet with the hi-hat, okay? So again, that's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice the hi-hat and bass. Now all I have to do is add the snare drum on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Little tricky, but again, it's very doable if you just concentrate on the hi-hat part. The bass and the snare will go right along with that, still on the numbers, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay, let's talk about the next one now. Oh, before we do that, let's do the basic shuffle one more time. I'll play it just a little bit faster, okay, just so you can get the feel of what it's going to sound like. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, as you can see, sounds really cool. It's different than a regular rock beat. A straight rock beat sounds like this. A shuffle pattern will sound like this. A lot of famous songs have shuffle patterns in them, okay? As we get farther into these shuffle patterns, we're going to explain those songs to you and which, shuffles are in certain songs. All right, the next one's called Doubling It Up. This is going to be a little different. We're still on the hi-hat, but this time we're going to have the hi-hat and the snare drum go along with each other. So they're literally going to mock each other totally together. The bass drum will still be on all four. Okay, so we'll get the bass drum going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to add the hi-hat. Again, the shuffle pattern. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to add the snare, doing exactly what the hi-hat does. Ready, go. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. 1, 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, All right, as you can see, not too bad. Again, a little different sounding than the first pattern we did. We got the hi-hat and the snare going together, so that could be a pattern. Let's play that up a little bit more up to speed. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So that was called Doubling It Up, number 1. Just below that, we're going to switch to the ride cymbal. We're going to do this one called Doubling It Up, number 2. Okay? And again, the same pattern's going to happen, but we're going to add a fourth element. Remember, we were playing hi-hat before, snare drum and bass. That's 3 things. Okay? This time we're going to be playing the hi-hat with the foot on 2 and 4, and we're going to play the bass drum on all 4. The ride cymbal is going to be playing the shuffle with the 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and the snare will follow right along with it. So we got 4 things going all at once. Let's start off with the bass and hi-hat first. This is what it's going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice on 2 and 4, the bass and the hi-hat hit together. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, while this is going, you got to think of the shuffle pattern on the ride cymbal. So I'm going to get that going. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to add the snare drum. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, All right, now, as you can see on the screen, the Doubling It Up number 2 actually is in 12/8, but I was counting it in 4/4. You can do that. You can still do that. As long as the feel is the same, you can still count it like that. I could have counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But I chose a little easier way to say it and just count 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. And it worked out perfectly fine. All right? So that was called Doubling It Up number 2. And you can tell it had a really cool shuffle pattern to it. Really kind of makes you want to dance, so to speak. All right, and then the last one on page 13 here, it's called More Power to Ya. So basically the power shuffle is if you were adding a shuffle pattern to a little more heavier guitar pattern. Let's say it's a more heavier rock tune, and it's not so much, an easy 50s, 60s beat, you know what I mean? So this kind of a pattern is going to get the bass drum and the snare drum playing a shuffle between the two of them. Now, let me explain that. So we're in 4/4 time, and we're going to count triplets, but the bass drum will be playing on 1, the of 2, 3, the and then the of 4. Notice I didn't say the bass drum's going to fall on 2 and 4 because the snare falls on 2 and 4, and we're going to replace that regular bass drum that normally would go there. Instead of that, we're going to put the snare drum in. So let's start that off. Let's kind of figure out what that sounds like. So here we go. Just the bass and the snare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, now, the last thing that's left is just the hi-hat. Now, we're not playing the hi-hat like we normally do, 1 and 2, 3, 4. We're going to play it just quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let that sink in a little bit. What we're doing is we're being less busy with the cymbal and not so busy with normally with the cymbal, but we're going to be busier with the snare and the bass. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. Next one, right next door to it, is still the power shuffle, but it's a different version of a power shuffle. We're going to add a little more snare to the mix. So it's, again, very similar to the last one we just did. We're keeping the quarter notes on the hi-hat. We're going to put the bass and snare in, but the snare will have a little bit more pattern to it. So here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, as you can see, that was a different type of pattern, just slightly a little bit different because it had a little bit more snare to the mix. I'll play that again one time more, and we'll play it a little bit faster, so it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we're going to turn the page. We're on to page 14 now. We're going to do this new one called the up-tempo shuffle. And this one's going to be a little different because what we're going to do is we're going to play faster, and we're also going to play our sticks separate from each other. So normally I've been doing shuffles always with the right stick on the hi-hat. This time I'm going to break it up between the right and the left on the hi-hat. Now we'll keep the bass drum the same. The bass drum will be on all 4, so we'll get that going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll keep the snare on 2 and 4, but the hi-hat will be playing right, left, left, still in a shuffle pattern. I'll play that with just that. We'll leave out the snare for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, crash. Okay, now we're going to add the snare drum to that. Now, when I add the snare drum, what stick is going to hit the drum is it's going to be the right. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to slow this down, and I'm going to play real slow so you can see it's going to go right, left, 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 right. Now, the reason why I'm doing it that slow is so you can see the stick that hits the snare is still always the right. The left kind of stays on the hi-hat. It doesn't move. It just stays there and plays the other part. Okay? I'll play it a little bit up to speed, and then we'll play it up to full speed so you can see. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now I'll play it up a little bit faster. You can kind of see what this up-tempo shuffle sounds like. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. All right. I can even play it a little bit faster because a lot of times what will happen is there'll be a really fast shuffle, and you need both hands on the hi-hat to play that shuffle that fast, because sometimes the right stick by itself is just not enough for it. So here's what that'll sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, as you can see, it sounds pretty fast. It's one of those things, once you get comfortable with it, and you can understand it at a slow pace, if you feel comfortable, then try to speed it up, get that speed up. All right, the next one, called the shuffle and snare. Now, this one here is going to be on the snare drum. We're not going to use the hi-hat anymore. We're actually going to use the snare drum as the shuffle rhythm. If you remember back in the beginning of the show, I was showing you how to do a shuffle just on snare drum. Well, now we're going to use that idea and put it to use on an actual pattern. So this one's called shuffle and snare. Now, what happens is the pattern is right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. What happens is I'm still doing the triplets, but I count 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Notice I still don't play the ands. I'm still playing just the number and the 1, 2, 3, and 4 and the uhs. Now all I have to do is put the bass drum with that, and I've got my patented shuffle and snare beat. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, as you can see, it sounds pretty cool. Sometimes you can do the shuffle on the hi-hat with the snare and the bass, or sometimes you can just do snare and bass. Again, if I wanted to speed that up a little bit, you get this sound. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, as you can see, it sounds pretty cool that way too. Now, I want to talk about something that I've been using, and sometimes in shuffle music they use these. Now, I'm using drumsticks right now, but I want to show you another form of drumstick. First of all, we're going to start off with these things. These are called brushes. And it starts off with this rod and this barrel that has all these wires. I'm going to push up through there and push these wires up through the barrel, and this is what they call a brush. Now, the brushes are used back in the jazz days for real quiet playing, okay? Very quiet, soft playing. And sometimes if a guy was playing a shuffle pattern, sometimes by playing sticks, sometimes that beat is too loud. So they grab some brushes. And again, these are made of wire. You can shrink them and make them like a little tighter if you want to play them a little bit harder, you know, a little bit louder sounding. You can pull them in different shapes so that way it can play lighter or a little bit harder. But again, this is going to be the softest type of utensil that you can use for the drum set to play real softly. In fact, when I play in church, a lot of times I'll play with these if it's a real super soft song. So here's what they sound like. Okay. Sometimes they used to use the old traditional grip, and they would put the wires. Now, I have the wrong kind of a snare drum head on here. I'm using a clear head. A lot of times they would use a white coated, because the white coated has a very kind of sandpapery feel to it, and it would make that sound really of the brushes come a little bit, you know, up when they're rubbing against the drum head. You can kind of hear it a little bit. Hopefully in the studio you can hear the sound. It makes that kind of a sound. But getting back to the shuffle pattern, you know, again, they use these in the jazz days, but guys will use these for softer kind of sounds. So let's try out the shuffle pattern, and here's what it would sound like doing the shuffle and snare sound. So here's this one. If I play that double time, it would sound like this. Okay, so again, brushes are used for playing softer. As you can see, a big difference. Okay, now there's another type of brush. And these are actually called, well, back in the day they used to call them hot rods. Now they call them wands or tala wands, or sometimes they call them bamboo sticks. But again, you can see I've used these quite a bit. They're pretty well banged up. But again, this is something in between a brush and a stick. So these are a little bit harder sounding. They play a little bit louder, but not as soft as brushes, but not as loud as sticks. So somewhere in between. So, and I use these a lot in church as well. Again, these are going to have a different sound. I'll play on these. So again, they have a different type of sound altogether, but again, they're a little bit louder than brushes. So let's play this with the shuffle snare sound, and here's what this sounds like. All right, so as you can see, it's a very cool device. You know, these wands, or sometimes they call them hot rods. And again, the brushes. So you have two different styles of utensils that you can use for the drum set besides the drumsticks. There are other ones, but these are the two that the book's talking about right now. All right, and we got one more we're going to do, and then I'm going to continue this shuffle stuff down the road. So as we go, I'm going to play this old-time shuffle. And again, the old-time shuffle is using the hi-hat on 2 and 4 with the foot. The ride cymbal is going to be playing, and the snare drum is going to be playing. But let's, first of all, again, always start with the feet. I'm going to start with the bass and the hi-hat. That'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. Now, we'll add the snare drum and the ride cymbal. The ride cymbal is going to be playing quarter notes. It's going to be playing the numbers, and the snare drum is going to be playing the So we're going to get this sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. All right, let's put all of that together, and here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. All right, as you can see, shuffles are really fun. Again, they're a lot different. They can be used in certain songs that just call for that jazzy kind of feel sound. And as you can see, they're very important in, drum playing. Well, I guess we're out of time right now. So I'll meet you guys again real soon on the next show. Until then, you guys take care. Keep rocking. This is Joe Tortonesi signing off. And thanks for watching Joe's Drum Shop. We'll see you on the next one. You guys take care. Have a good one.